today we are doing something a little different. Waffles couldn't make it, so we got our new guest. Introduce yourself.
Nick, how's it going?
And we are couch surfing, so let's get into it. And I'm Maui. There's a running gag we have because, like, my dad will cook up meals for the animals in our house. And dude, he'll make some gourmet ass meals. It's like they eat better than I do most of the time.
Yeah, unless I come over and cook for you.
Honestly, low-key, sometimes.
That's how everyone is, though. Like, I've cooked for Madison before. I've cooked for Claudia before.
It gets hard, though, because it's hard to save yourself time to do that consistently.
Oh, yeah.
Don't get me wrong, I used to be able to, but at the same time, I didn't hang out as much with people. So, like, what was the sacrifice? So, I want to get back into that.
Oh, dude, we will.
Yeah.
We most certainly will. Yeah, but I get what you mean. Like, in my last relationship, fucking 7 years of basically isolation.
Yeah.
I had no friends. My friends were her friends from before, and so the only friends we'd
I
go.
feel like that's always the worst too.
Yeah.
And taking into account too, I was also in Tennessee.
Oh shit.
So my whole family, everyone I grew up with, is out here, and then I have my military buddies. Because when I left high school, I instantly enlisted, went out to Fort Campbell, and so I spent the last 10 years in Tennessee. All my military friends, they up and went home, back where they were from. But I stayed because I met my ex. And so it was just this whole, like, I didn't have friends, and we had a honeymoon baby, so I have a son. And so, I had to really pick and choose who I would allow to come over to the house. And most of the time, the people I worked with, the people I met outside, I didn't quite feel I could have them around my son.
They did not pass the vibe check.
They did not pass the vibe check. And so I never had my own friends. And my son Dawson, his godparents, I thought they were my friends. But everybody showed their true colors to me once we got divorced. And they all just disappeared. And I was like, okay, well, cheers to you assholes.
There's some relativeness I could share with that. I didn't get married to anybody, but same thing. I had a friend group where me and the person I was dating had the same friends, and when we broke up, when shit went way south, because she cheated on me a bunch of times, they chose, they made their choice, and their choice was obviously not me.
That's the thing, though, is I don't understand, because, like, my ex, she cheated on me, and that's how we ended up divorcing. I found out, and 2 weeks before she told me, and I told her, I was like, look, I already know you've done this. I already know what's happening. I've been biding my time, keeping my cool until you were ready to tell me. And I gave her the ultimatum, you delete him, stop talking to him, we'll go to couples therapy, we'll figure out what the root cause of these problems are, we'll figure them, settle them, and move past it. But if you choose to stay with him, no matter what this guy does to you, I will not take you back. But if he ever lays a hand on my son, I will put the fear of God in him.
Of course. Got it.
But yeah, I don't understand what it is about friends that always side with the girl when the girl's the one that cheated. I
don't get that either.
It makes zero sense, because you're a good guy. I know you on a personal level, and you're a really good freaking, like, I would have you hang out with me and my son.
Yeah.
Cool. You're a great guy, but
I don't understand.
I just don't get, like, siding with the cheater.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
it's not siding with the girl. It's siding with the cheater. I don't understand. Like, you're siding with vices. So.
Yeah, and it's not like I sat there and yelled at her and cussed her out and called her names or anything.
Exactly.
I was very respectful and still loving in that moment. I understand. I get it. We don't make enough, so we can't go out on all these adventures you want to go out on. I get that. I understand. I'm working towards it. We'll get there one day. You just have to have faith.
That's the problem, is people don't see those long-term ideas
and
plans cutting into fruition.
Or they just want the short-term stuff.
But
the short-term stuff is just, like, so short. It's not going to, like...
And that's the thing. She cheated on me with a 45-year-old man. Yeah. She is 28 this year. That's a big fucking difference. Yeah, Give 2 more years, his shit ain't going to work without the blue pill. And forget children, he's probably he's expired. That's expired goods. Yeah. He has money right now, but one phone call from me, he loses his job. The dude smokes pot, and they're in Texas right now. that's a no-go.
Yeah.
Especially for a manager. And I know he has a history with other drugs too. Not saying drugs are like the devil and fucking you can't go out and do them. Like, dude, you experiment however you want to experiment and do whatever you want to do. I could care less. The fact is, you're doing that shit around my son. You need to check yourself, because one wrong move and game over. I'll have their asses.
Yeah, but that means you have your priorities straight, right?
Yeah, but it's just like, back to what we were saying, I don't understand how women, first off, thinks it's acceptable. No, not just women, men too. Men do this.
Yeah,
shit. It's bullshit either way. Cheater is a cheater is a cheater.
Yeah.
You can't sit here and tell me that these microphones aren't black. They're black.
Right.
Okay. This is used for shading. You could probably shove it up your ass. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
multi-purpose tool.
Yeah. It's silliness. Absolute silliness in the world today.
Yeah. Well, you know what the problem is people like take that cheating, and I don't want to say most of the time, but a good amount of times the person got cheated on will then find their next relationship and find themselves as the cheater, which is
not.
There's a polarization though, because like for me, and I feel like people like you and I, and other people like us, like we take that to heart and go, I will never let people experience what I've experienced.
Yeah. Exactly.
But I've seen it go the other way around. I had a old buddy of mine. He was in that friend group, that Arizona friend group of mine, who, same thing. He and I were on the same, I thought we were on the same wavelength. Never cheat. Very respectful. Gentleman to the core. And then like shit went south with his girlfriend, cheated on her. And then he just kept going on that.
Well, when shit goes south, why don't you just break up? Like,
That's
why would
saying,
you
though.
just break up
and
instead
you
of
know
cheat?
what? Here's the thing that I found out. So I have a buddy. Yeah, I'm just gonna say buddy for now.
Yeah.
So I had this buddy, and he got together with one of our coworkers. And they're still going out. It's been like a year now. Multiple times I said, dude, just don't break up with her. Give it a chance, y'all. This is back when they were fresh. I was like, you've been talking this woman up and down for months before finally you and her both being single and be in a relationship, because he was talking about breaking up with this girl and wanting this woman for the longest time.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, then do it.
Yeah.
Obviously you have no more feelings for your ex. You have feelings for this woman, so you need to split up with your girl that you have right now, or you need to stop talking.
Yeah.
One or the other.
Make your choice.
So he made his choice. He broke up with her and started going out with this other girl. Well, the grass wasn't greener. The grass was not greener. And he's talking about, wanting to break up with her, this, that, and the other. And I'm like, look, dude, you've been talking this woman up. It's fresh. Y'all are learning each other. Give it a chance. In a few months or whatever, if you really, really still feel this way, yeah, split up. No problem.
Yeah.
But you just changed your entire life for this woman. You can't just dip out because it gets hard.
Right.
That's not okay.
What do I say about people like that?
Yeah. So now, they've been going out for a while, but the man damn near tried to kill himself because he can't take the way she is. And I'm like, well, then why are you with her?
Yeah.
And he's talking about they're trying to have kids. I'm like, what kind of fucking idiot? Like, I told you to give it time, not
just stay there.
Yeah, not just stay there because you feel stuck.
Right.
Grow a pair of nuts. Break up with her.
That's the problem a lot of people have, especially in let's say more my generation and
He's your age.
And later on, is that they're too afraid to be honest.
Yeah.
Right?
He told her he quit these. Every day at work, he hits mine.
Yeah.
I'm like, you son of a bitch. Go get your own or be truthful to your girl. Right. Too easy.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, dude, that's the thing. Like, I think people our age are afraid to hurt people's feelings because, and in doing so, essentially you're choosing.
Because it's hard. You're choosing the harder path, but the harder path is the right path.
I feel like it's just hard in the beginning, but it makes things easier in the long run.
It does.
Oh, for sure. Well, that's the thing is when you do that, for the most part, you're choosing yourself. Right. When you're breaking up with someone, you're choosing yourself for whatever reason. If it means moving on to the other, like someone else that you think has a better interest in mind with you, you're still choosing yourself over a relationship that is causing you more turmoil than you think.
Absolutely.
So why are people having such a hard time being honest about it? And don't get me wrong, because you know my situation. I got out of a relationship probably like a good amount. It's a little fresh, but at the same time, it's, you know what I mean. It's the same thing. Like,
I'll tell you right now. After the divorce, like, because when I found out till when we actually got divorced, I lost fucking 30 pounds. And it was a month. I lost 30 pounds, couldn't eat, couldn't sleep. I was an emotional wreck.
Yeah.
Like, you could see it. It was night and day. I was 255. No, I was 235. And by the time I got here, I was out in California. I was like 205.
Yeah.
It's a complete difference. Clothes that I'd kept hidden away in the closet for years, all of a sudden they're fitting. And I'm just like, I'm feeling myself now.
Yeah.
So when I got into California, I went on the typical, like, I'm depressed, I'm just going to drink my emotions away. Then I got into a hoe phase.
I was there for a little bit of that.
I started hoeing. Like, it was bad, dude. Like, I ain't that pretty to look at, but fuck.
Relax. But yeah, like,
I was all clean shaven and shit then too, though.
Beard looking good, buddy. You were styling your hair at work every day. You'd ask me, I remember that. You'd be like, you literally like, how's my hair? Hat on or off? I'm like, off. You look good, buddy. You look good.
I would style my hair. I had the tight line, the goatee with the. It was.
You were very well groomed, that's for sure. You were ready to get at it. But that was the thing, though. Was like, I chose myself, and I had to make that decision. And did I do it the best way? I probably could have done it better, for sure. But I did it better than most. I'll say that.
Absolutely. I don't think I do. I looked at that whole situation because, like I said, night and day. This guy's attitude and just everything's changed. Like when I first met him, he was what he is right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then when he got into the relationship, it changed. He was more internal. Like he couldn't outwardly express who he is.
Yeah.
Because it was like somebody just turned off the lights and put a cage over him.
But that was the thing, is like, I don't want, again, I'm not trying to make this out to be a bad relationship, because it wasn't. You know, it was always, it was good while we were in there.
I met her, she was really cool, you just were not the match.
It just wasn't the pair, yeah. And that was the thing, was like, I stopped going to the gym regularly. I stopped doing what I was doing.
Which is crazy, because she's a very physically fit person.
Yeah, she is. But again, like, the amount of time that we had to share with each other was so limited that it made it difficult. Yeah. So I would literally, and I think you mentioned this, and a couple other people, like, to the point I felt like I was waiting on her to be like, I'm free and available, let's hang out. So I'd be waiting, like low-key waiting. And like my dad would give me this advice and I would like take it to heart, just little and little. As he told me more and more about it, I started to kind of snap out of it. But it was like, you gotta stop doing that. You gotta stop waiting on it. Just live your life, and like, if you guys have time, like, it'll work. And I was like, okay. And once I took that advice, and then once we had a conversation multiple times, I realized that like, this isn't working because I can't have both. Because and I had
a partner is supposed to uplift and add to life,
like a supplement. Yeah.
Yeah, it's. I mean, they're called your better half for a reason.
Yeah.
They're supposed to be your groupie, your person, your cheerleader, your whatever the fuck you want to call it. They're supposed to uplift, not put you down, not make life harder. They're supposed to make life easier.
Yeah. So I was telling you off air. I went climbing in Santa Cruz yesterday. I almost fucking died. So I was climbing in this rock. So the rocks aren't as stable, obviously. And I had one of my hands on it. It popped off, and the rock came off with my hand, and I fell like 20, like I want to say 30 to 40 feet.
Yeah.
Just straight into the sand. And so I told the girl I'm talking to now about that. She was like, "You shouldn't climb today." And I was like, "What?" She's like, "You went through a tough climbing session yesterday. Take it easy." And I was like, "Yo, I've never had like."
Just tell her you're going with the fat guy.
Yeah,
you will be taking it easy.
So that's why I was like, I'll take it easy.
Did you tell her that?
I did. I was like, I'll take it easy. I promise. And she's like, I'm gonna ask him. And if he tells me you're gonna go harder than pay, like I'm gonna be pissed. So
I fully expect you to get at least a 7 or 8 today.
That's
at least once. I want that to be your first climb.
You know what? I will not hit a 7 until you're with me. I will promise.
On a fucking 7?
Yeah.
We need to start doing some CrossFit, my guy. Okay. I'm not ready.
Me.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I'll get there,
see what you mean.
but at the same time, like,
I was like, damn, it's gonna be a long time till I hit those 7s.
Dude, it's fun though. You'll see your progress.
The first one I want to hit is that blue.
That too. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I think it's still there, so you have a chance.
Good stuff. Wait, do they change them periodically?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So, that's cool.
Yeah. So you don't get bored with them. But I'm probably still on I'm 4s. I'm climbing out of 4s and starting to venture into 5s.
You hit 5s the other day.
I know, but it's like it's more of a challenge. So like it's just very difficult. When you hit harder problems like that, so like for you, I'd want you to hit a 3 or so. And then you'll see what you need to work on to start getting into 3s and 4s. My
girl was telling me I have this issue where I'll do something, I'll get angry with myself, and then I'll put too big of a goal on myself. Like for instance, we went to the gym and I said, next, I can't wait till I'm hitting these. And she's like, just take a step back. You should be worried. You should be focusing on the process. Yeah. I'm like, no, that's the thing. That's the thing is I'm just excited for the process. I'm excited for the process because I want to each time I go, I want to attempt the next step. Yeah. And if I don't get it, okay, that's the goal that I'm going to work for the next time that we go. And if I still can't get it, guess what? I have another week. Yeah. So I'm the same way. I see the long term, and then I'll build backwards. Me and her, we have this disconnect when we talk, and especially when we argue, where we're saying the same fucking thing, we just word it different. Oh yeah, I do. And because my wording is not the way she words it, she gets angry, and because I feel like she's not listening to the way I'm wording it, I get angry, and then we'll come back to the argument after a day or two. And we'll talk about it. We'll sit down and we'll actually talk about it, dive into it. What was the root problem? What were we even talking about? What the fuck the timeline was? And, we'll get to kind of a middle ground, which is something that's leaps and bounds over what me and my ex were ever capable of doing. Every time we'd argue, I'd just lock up and I couldn't speak. And sometimes it felt like I couldn't breathe. My word was not valid, and therefore I am incorrect. Yeah. So when we all hung out at the end of our graduation in high school, you weren't quite in that picture, but you knew who I was dating at the time. Yeah. So we had I had the same look on his face. I had the same issue, and it happened in our friend group too, because Kendall and I are pretty bad at this. But we'll do the same shit where we just talk in a circle and we're literally talking the same thing, and finally one of us will be like, "Are we agreeing?" And it's like, "We've been agreeing this whole time. Like, what are you doing?" So I used to do that with my ex. Again, the one that he knew before I moved out to Arizona. Was she an Aries? No, she was a Libra like me. Oh, wow. So I'm a Cancer. I'm all up in my feels. But I've apparently I'm a flirt. Yeah, you are. Apparently so am I. But you know what? I have she said I have a Leo rising and an Aries moon or some shit like that. So I'm a water firefighter. Yeah, I don't know, but she tried to explain it like I have all the characteristics of a Leo and an Aries. Okay. But I have the Cancer's emotions, so that's a fucking clusterfuck right there. Yeah. So I used to do the same shit, and I used to do the same way as you, where I would talk and stuff. But I'd ask her, I'd be like, "Are we agreeing here?" And she goes, "No, we're not." And I'm like, "Dude, we're saying the same shit though." She's like, "No, we're not." Can somebody hit replay on that? Yeah. Legit. I was like, "What the fuck?" Anyways. She was the one that told me. That was the only thing I picked up from Libras, is that she told me this, because she was a Libra and she was a flirt for sure with other people, and that's what annoyed me. She's like, "Libras are just flirts. That's just how it goes." And I'm like, "I'm a Libra, and you and I both know, and at this time I wasn't. I'm not a flirt." She goes, "Okay, whatever." But I guess I was apparently. You're a flirty guy. I am, but you're a respectful. It's weird, guy. Yeah. It's like a unintentional flirt. You know what I mean? Like you even flirt with me. That's intentional. That's intentional. That is straight intentional. I'm trying to get into the fucking DMs. Wait, you already got my number though. Yeah.
bring him in on Tuesdays to see that dad bod in action.
Fuck, man. Don't talk about it like that. I'm working on it.
Hey,
I fucking despise dad bods. And I think that's because like, I look at pictures of me back in the military, and I'm like, fuck, I'd fuck me. But then I look at literally, like, the first month after the military, all that fried food and shit, I blew up like a balloon, man. I went from 190 solid to 255 flabby as fuck. Yeah, and it was the biggest struggle to get it off.
Yeah.
And it doesn't help when your ex can't cook to save her fucking life. Hamburger helper every night is terrible.
I was gonna say, when I was in my most recent relationship, we just went out all the fucking time. And
that's expensive.
Dude, it's expensive, and like, it's not the healthiest of foods.
No. I mean, you got all the gluten, all the soy, all the shit that you're allergic to that you don't know you're allergic to.
Well, that's the thing, is they'll throw shit in there that you have no idea as well.
Whenever you look at, like, for instance, on a pre-workout, when it says, like, proprietary blend, or when it says, fucking added sugars is terrible for you. Your body doesn't process them right. But you look at these things, and when they say blend or mix or whatever, that's their way of hiding shit. That's where they can hide all the shit that you're not supposed to be taking. So when you find the ones that, like, have everything measured out, and there's no, like, extra little section of ingredients that have actual no names, just mixes and blends. When you find a pre-workout or whatever that doesn't have that section, it's probably a pretty good pre-workout.
Yeah.
They're all going to have an added sugar, but you can get ones that are unflavored and shit. Yeah. Those are the ones I like.
I have to mention this because I'm actually really proud about it. So after I went climbing in Santa Cruz and I was kind of beat up, I went back to the climbing gym to fucking lift. And I was doing pulls, doing deadlifts, doing heavies. And I was trying to hit my PR. My PR was 365.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, like, I'm expecting to hit at least 2 plates. That was my goal, right? Because I hadn't lifted. I've been deadlifting forever. Dude, I hit 335.
Yeah. I don't know what I can hit now, but my PR was 450 at one point.
I got
pretty excited. That was only a couple of years ago too.
I'm aiming to pull 405. I want to pull 4 plates. But my goal. So I didn't want to get back into it, but man, this girl's getting me back into, like, fucking lifting like a fucking freak.
Dude, I want to see you blow up. I want to see.
It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. I'm gonna find a good balance though, because I want to keep on the lighterish side, so I can stay solid and climbing.
Your metabolism is so fucking quick. You won't have an issue there.
I know. You're not wrong.
Your issue is going to be putting on the
sides. It always has been. But I'm aiming for 1,000. I haven't broken it, but I was super close. So I'm gonna get there. So I think the numbers I really need, or I want to get, is 4 plates lift, or 4 plates pull, 4 plates squat, and then 2.5 for bench, which will put me way over 1,000. But, like, those are the numbers I want to hit.
Those are your goals. I mean, my thing is, as long as you can push, lift, and everything your own body weight, you're fine.
Dude, I'm doing double my body weight. So
well, you also weigh a twig. So.
Right now, I pushed back up to 160 because of that goddamn super fucking mass gainer pre-workout, dude. Oh, nice. And creatine. I've been killing myself on creatine.
Does the creatine make a huge difference?
Yeah, because it helps your muscles retain water. So yeah, you're carrying more water weight, but at least it's the weight, right? So,
yeah.
And then you can kind of, like, substitute it with actual mass and muscle.
I think here on out, because I realized one thing really quick. So when I was in high school, my freshman year, I weighed 275. It was the most I've ever weighed in my life, and I was a freshman who was only like 5'8".
Fuck, jeez.
Yeah, I couldn't see my dick. You could roll me down a hill. I was a fat kid. And so my father finally pulled through on the child support check. So I got like $3,000 in the bank, and I'm this little freshman. And I'm like, what am I going to do with $3,000? Well, I'm fat, so that needs to be put in check real quick. So I got myself a gym membership at Club One Fitness in Petaluma. I got myself a Diamondback mountain bike with the hydraulic disc brakes, super nice, like the square frame, all white with blacked out everything else.
Yeah,
that thing was sick. And then I got myself a mixed martial arts gym membership. and I would literally bike about 20 miles a day. I'd work out for 5 hours a day. I would do, 3 hours lifting. No, 2 hours lifting, 1 hour cardio, 1 hour in the pool, because they had an Olympic-sized pool there, and then 30 minutes sauna, 30 minutes steam room. And then I would bike from there to my buddy's house, change, and go to the studio and work out there for 2 hours. And that was my daily routine.
That was me in Arizona, because like there was not much to do in Arizona, so I'd literally be in the gym until I had to work, and then when I got off of work, I'd go back to the gym.
I lost all that weight in one summer.
Yeah.
No supplements, no protein, nothing. Just eating and then everything else. Yeah. And I wasn't even drinking then either, because my bad. This is sophomore into senior year. Yeah, lost all the weight, got cut up, could run all of a sudden. I'd never been able to run before in my life. Asthma would kick my ass.
Do you have a bike here right now?
No.
I was gonna say, get a bike. Let's start biking.
Dude, I'd be game.
Yeah, let's do it.
Fucking damn near everything is within driving or riding distance.
Yeah.
Hell, I could even bike to work.
I was gonna say we'll bike to go climbing or work out, and then that'll be part of our like warm up, and then we can get into.
That's a fucking hike.
But
that's a fucking hike, my guy. I can't bike like that no more.
It's only like 5 miles away to the climbing gym, and then if we go to like,
He's really putting in perspective what I think is far now.
we need to go to the same gym. I'm willing to sacrifice my city sports membership.
Have you ever been to American Barbell?
I have. Do they have a sauna there?
No.
That's one thing I definitely need for a gym.
I have a sauna at the house though.
If I have access to it.
I mean, I don't see why not. I would have to check on that, but
let me check into things too, because like I've been going with
oh yeah.
I've been going with her right now.
Oh yeah.
They have dude, that gym is so nice. I don't know if it'd be bikeable.
Which one?
It's the 20,
one by the
24 on El Camino. It's a new one.
Oh, I heard about that one.
Nice.
It's like brand new.
I think it's nice.
You have a guest pass, right?
She does.
24.
That's why I get it. I don't have a membership at all.
Damn, I didn't even know.
So I'm gonna look into it. I'm gonna see what the cost is, and if it's worth it, then I'll get a membership if it comes.
Yeah, dude.
And
I'll go with you working out there, and then on the days that you don't go there or whatever, I'll go to my gym.
Yeah.
And
we can find like a routine where like you can come with me every other day or so.
Saturdays, for the most part, I'm open.
Yeah,
Saturdays I'm open, and then after work I'm open. But it just depends on your schedule. I can do it. I'm gonna be tired of shit.
Okay.
Like I said, I do concrete all day. So, but yeah, I'm game. I'm game for that.
Yeah, they have a turf, little turf area, so we can do poles, and I love sled poles, so we can do those. Yeah, that thing is nice. I'll have to look into it. Otherwise, we'll just like abuse hers because she has 2 guest passes.
What the hell?
So we'll just abuse hers
That
when she's not bringing a different person. I'll just be like, yo, I'm coming through with Nick. You don't have to say about it. She actually was like, I'll just send you a screenshot of my key card. You just scan it. Okay. Fuck it.
she's hella cool. I like her.
Yeah.
I like her for you.
I think
you guys have the same vibe. They have the same vibe. Have you met her yet?
Nah. She saw me on FaceTime last week, but that was it.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Oh yeah?
I thought you were gonna see her today because she was over, but she had to dip for her birthday lunch that they were doing today. So yeah, she's definitely a vibe. She's really cool.
She's cool. She passed the vibe check
for sure. Again, I think she's very there's big compatibility there.
Yeah,
really cool. She's super cool, low key. She just gets along with everybody too. She's not afraid to like chat it up with anybody or anybody.
Now the real question is, does she watch anime?
It depends on which animes, right? Because we got into that conversation at it was like one of the first questions she asked me. She's like, "What's your favorite anime?" I think I told you this. But she was like, "What's your favorite anime movie?" And I was like, okay.
"Oh."
I was like, "Okay."
But what does she count as like an anime movie?
Right.
Like Pokemon is not.
I
went, what?
But as an anime movie?
So no, I was like, okay, is she going?
Was Mewtwo? Let's go.
Was she going studio? And I asked her, like, are you talking Studio Gilby kind of movies, or are you talking all anime? She was like, Studio Ghibli. I'm like, okay.
Spirited Away.
Yeah, Spirited Away.
I'm from a different generation, so mine's Princess Mononoke.
House Moving Castle's good. Totoro.
What's the super sad one where there's like a bomb blast in Japan? Fuck. What is it called?
I gotta get her into like real anime. Yeah, even if it has to be the movies, like Erase is a good one.
Erase is a series too, though.
Yeah, but it's a short series.
It's good though.
One of the best ones, and I want to get Krista watching this one is ReZero.
ReZero.
I heard that was good. I haven't seen it.
It is so good, and then the new season is
so dark.
So dark.
But I like dark stuff, so that
it's so dark. It's like a tragic love story.
It makes you think, though, dude. It makes you think. You put yourself into that perspective, and you're like, would I go through that much like torment for this?
Seriously, right? I mean, and you think about it. In a few of the episodes, he went legitimately batshit.
Yeah,
like completely 100% crazy. And
well, every time he dies, he's feeling that pain of death every time, man.
It was so well written.
They did such a great job. Have you seen? I think I've asked you this, but Fate series.
No, I haven't.
Fate Zero and Fate Stay Night, really good.
I want to, but I don't know which one is the starting point.
Zero.
So
start with that one. I think you'd like it if you.
Do you have to watch them all chronological?
No.
So you can just
you can jump around. Whichever one you want, start there.
Cool.
The beautiful part about it is they'll go into like old legendary heroes and characters. So like you'll hear about, but there's change like. King Arthur is actually a female. Things like that. They'll talk about
the blonde?
Yeah, they'll talk about Celtic heroes too. Like they'll just bring out all these cool heroes and myth characters, and you're like, that's fucking sick.
That's pretty cool. I love it when they do that. Like Gregor Ragnarok. Yeah, that one's pretty sweet. I'm super excited to watch the new Thor movie.
Yeah, I've seen it. It's I actually really liked it.
Because I know it's Zeus, it's Zeus that he kills. I got the second I watched the preview for it, I was watching something, and the dude throws a lightning bolt at Thor, and Thor grabs it and throws it back through him. And I'm like, I only know one mythical person
who's really known for
throws a fucking lightning bolt.
Yeah.
That's Zeus.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there and I'm looking at the like everyone that's around in that frame, and I'm like, those are all gods. This is the Zeus's little. This is Mount Olympus right here.
Yeah. Have you seen Have you heard of the series? And I haven't watched it yet, but I really want to get into it. It's called American Gods.
No, but I've heard of it too. Like they're all gods or whatever.
Yeah, so they have like something similar to that concept of like the new gods, which is like the god of media and the god of like fortune or like whatever. It's like gods that pertain to like the new American world.
Yeah.
And then it's like a little internal war between them and the old gods. So you'd see like Zeus and Odin and all these like OGs, and it looks like a
so it has like the old all of the old OGs.
Yeah.
That goes into the concept of the tattoo that I want to get. But I was wanting it for my arm, but I realized my arms are not big enough for that. I wanted the three mains from the Greek mythology.
So Zeus, Poseidon, and Hades.
The three mains from Nordic mythology. So Odin, Thor, probably Loki, because those are the three that you mainly hear about.
Okay. I was gonna say that one's a little convoluted because you can go like Baldur, you can go because he starts the end of Ragnarok. Yeah, or you go Freya too, so like that one's a little more convoluted, but I know what you mean.
And then the Egyptian gods, so Ra, Anubis, and Osiris. And then I was going to figure out what the Japanese gods were. I can't.
You could do like Taka Mikazuchi, Tsukiyomi. You could do.
There it is. There it is.
Susanoo. Yeah. So I used to play this fucking card game. It's called Vanguard, and they would go into like Japanese deities a lot.
Nice. But yeah, so them maybe one more, maybe swap out the Japanese. I don't know, but get them with like their temples are, their pillars, or something behind them. Like for the Egyptian ones, it would be the pyramids. For the Nordic ones, or for Zeus and all them, or not Zeus, Odin and all them, it would be like the gate of Valhalla. And maybe like the tree behind them. And then for Zeus, it would be Zeus' temple or Mount Olympus or both.
You know, you could do Quetzalcoatl and all those guys who I can't think. Quetzalcoatl. That guy, yeah. Dude, the names are so hard to pronounce, man.
But so it'd be all of them, and then, you know, I'm a Christian, so it'd be them here, and then they'd all be in conflict. It'd be kind of a darker piece, and then up here, up top, it would be the cross kind of shining through all that darkness. Just an image that I came up with in my head, and I was like, oh, that'd be pretty fucking sick.
That'd be sick if you could put it there. That'd be a killer back piece, though.
It would, but I don't know that I want a back piece that big. I don't want anything going towards, you know, the top part of my back, sure, but the bottom part, it's a little much for me.
Okay, tramp stamp.
Yeah, exactly.
I thought about that because that fish hook is 2 sides. That I showed you, like that's how big it'd be on my back.
See, but the difference between the fish hook and my piece is the fish hook would stay in the center of your back,
yeah.
So it would look very proportionate to your body.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas I can't name a back piece that I've seen where it's the entire back where I've just gone, that's fucking incredible. That looks so good. And I'm just like, that really makes your love handles pop. Yeah, I mean, you know what I mean? It's really hard to look at those pieces and go, that's just fucking phenomenal, because I'm a detail-oriented person.
Yeah,
and I'll look at that and I'll just think, that is not proportionate. That is, that does not compliment you.
We had a. I don't think you can consider her a friend. I don't think even I could consider her a friend. But she would get tattoos of like what she wanted. So she had like
I hate people who do that. That shit bugs me.
She would just do a lot of like
random
little dotted things and then try and blend
That's
them
become
together.
way more common lately.
Yeah,
that shit bugs me though.
It doesn't look that good, man. I hate to say it.
I forget what style of artwork that is, where it's just the tiny dots, like pinprick dots.
No,
it's not that. Just random tattoos.
She would get
like unrelated to each other.
Her first tattoo she ever got was a bluebird.
Bro, that shit
the
artist
she got it done with, I don't know what he was doing, but he made the eyes of the bird look like it was stoned out of its mind.
I was like, all this bird needs is a blood.
I think everybody in our friend group was like, your bird on your shoulder is high as fuck. But then she would just like get another thing, and again, I don't judge people's tattoos. You get your tattoos for whatever reason, you know what I mean? But the way it like came out, it just like looked so, I wouldn't say tacky. It just didn't like blend well.
There was no
synergy. No synergy to anything. Liquid, she has like liquid gold right here, or the liquid luck from Harry Potter. She had the bird, and then she had
that's
the symbolisms of all of them are completely understandable. But when it was like collaged together, you're just like, it just looks like a mosh posh of a mess.
Like it seemed like she thought about what she wanted, but not where she wanted or how she wanted it to look.
Yeah.
My thing with the liquid luck though, like,
it's just a vibe.
Unless you know Harry Potter, you don't know what that is.
Right.
You look at it and go, well, that's dumb. You got a jar on you.
Yeah.
Fucking retard.
See, we're not allowed to say that.
Do you want jars? I'll go get you some jars.
We're not allowed to say that. Oh, man.
Somebody on this is going to be like, he's a retard. What a dick.
I don't know.
Castrate him on the web.
Great, you're going to cancel our podcast that gets like 10 views. So.
Sorry.
How dare you?
I digress. I'm sorry. I'm not affiliated with this podcast. I'm just a guest speaker who's talking.
He was a homeless guy we thought had good insight.
There.
Demoted him so far.
See, now I'm going to get canceled because now we're making fun of retards. Homeless people. Damn.
Look, they're not called retards. They're called special needs.
No, you use the. I'm using your word.
You said homeless.
I wasn't referring to retards as. You know what? Let's kind of here.
You know what's crazy? I saw this girl, a homeless girl, woman, not a girl, woman, over by where I work, and she had this sign and said, let's stop the stigma of hobophobia. I'm just like,
I'm not afraid of homeless people, man.
I'm not afraid of homeless people.
I hate giving my... Okay, I'll let you finish.
Well, I mean, I've been homeless. I've been homeless a number of times. Like, I was homeless growing up. When my mom kicked me out when she found out I was enlisting in the military, I was homeless for like a few weeks then. And then when I came back into California, the place that I came back to, it was my mom's.
Yeah.
So I came back to help my mom because I hate Western medication. Absolutely despise it.
Me too.
Well, we have everything we need. My soon-to-be mother-in-law is a nutritional consultant. And so she can tell you any blend of vitamins and minerals to help with a backache, or your kidney, or your liver, or your skin, or whatever. You've got a headache, she's got a mix that she can do, and your headache will be gone. Your eye hurts, that could be a number of things, but she's got enough of everything to help with it. Like, it's ridiculous. I very rarely have a problem that she can't handle with vitamins and minerals and the proper blends of both.
Mm.
And so my mom, she was on damn near 83 different medications for the morning.
What the fuck?
Western medication for you. They don't check medical history. And apparently she'd gone to 9 different doctors, or her now deceased husband had taken her to 9 different doctors. And instead of checking her history, they just prescribed her things. They're like, oh, this is going on? Well, here we go. Here. They rack in a paycheck. They don't do their job anymore. At one point in time, I would say it wasn't absolutely terrible. There was a lot of like them not checking and not really caring too much. Because I mean, when I was little, I was put on a thing for ADHD or whatever, and it was a tester. Like, they hadn't even tested it properly.
Well, dude, how many commercials do we have of like all these different medications? Like,
and then at the very end, this may make you die within 24 hours of taking it. This may cause bloating beyond belief. Like,
each drug have.
You'll go brain dead. It's like, okay, cool. After taking this, you may experience internal bleeding. That like your asshole will fall out.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell?
It's like the reason we have the oxy issue right now too. Like, doctors just fucking prescribing crazy ass medicine to everyone.
Huge addiction
at like young ass ages when they're like not ready to be taken.
And a lot of these medications are habit forming.
Yeah.
Especially if you don't know if you're an addicted person or not. Like.
Yeah.
So one artist that I listen, very, very controversial artist, but I freaking love him because he's not scared. He's not scared to talk about things and not scared to dive into
Dave Chappelle.
Dave Chappelle too, though.
I love Dave Chappelle.
He's awesome.
Yeah,
no, Tom McDonald.
We talked about this.
We did?
I think so.
I think we have.
Tom McDonald, he's a rapper. Yeah, we talked about this because then I brought up Joyner Lucas.
Oh, okay. Maybe. Yeah, I still haven't looked.
He knows.
You got with the Toms, though.
He knows Joyner Lucas. He knows like the controversy he could bring to the
show.
But yeah, he talks about like how they breed the problem, and it turns around and comes right back to them, and
they're just making double in their pockets while everyone's fucking up.
You know who did that too, like very early on, and like kind of fell off now, was Lupe Fiasco. After he got through his like skater rap phase, he went into
He's one that did kick push, isn't he?
Yeah. That was like the skater rap phase.
Yeah.
Kick push, daydreaming. He
did Battle Scars, right?
Battle Scars, yeah. But he got into his Laser album, and that was like a lot of like, oh shit, he's talking about like
real shit.
Yeah. And after that album, I haven't heard much from him.
Yeah,
it's like tragic, but like he talked about the same shit.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I really.
What the hell were we talking about?
How your mom, you were coming back, when you came back, your mom was
right. Oh no, the homeless thing. Yeah, okay. So dialing it back.
Don't worry.
Maybe I do need the ADHD medication.
No, we go off track a lot. Don't worry.
So yeah, I came back to help her because ex-military, they breed into you a way to tackle problems, And I realized once I came back into the state that won't fly. Because a lot of people get their feelings hurt really quick.
They do.
Oh
People need to go back there.
Parents just need to whoop the damn children. Okay, that's what needs to happen. Parents need to whoop their kids, not beat their kids. Whoop their kids.
I think it's just
you gotta just discipline.
I was gonna say to the generalisticness of it, just
letting them scream and crying, giving them whatever they want. That doesn't solve the problem.
Right. Don't feed into
Teach them like good habits, just like spoon feed
Teach them to open the door for every woman and elderly.
Yep.
Teach them the meaning of hard work.
You
mow the lawn, you get this. You do nothing, I take this.
Or that there's no reward for like every little thing too.
Exactly. I'm a firm believer in there should not be a participation award.
Oh, same.
So,
that is ruining this generation.
100%. Dude, my dad had been my baseball coach. He would shit all over us if we didn't win. He loved that that competitiveness made things that much more serious for everybody.
Or is it like you got to know the feeling of losing, like actually knowing you lost.
Yeah, learn your lessons.
There's I'm gonna butcher this quote, but it's something like, strong men create peaceful times.
Peaceful times create weak men. Weak men create tough times. Tough times make strong men.
Yeah. Okay. And that's exactly like what we're seeing, because I'm noticing more and more of this, your generation, or maybe the generation like after you. A lot of them vote red now. And I'm just like, wait, what? And my girl is telling me, there's a lot more Republicans in that generation in California. And I'm just like, I'm just completely taken back by it. I'm like, wow. And she's like, actually, it's your generation that's fucking everything up. I'm like, what do you mean? She's like, millennials are fucking shit up right now. Like, low key.
Yeah. I had something to add to that, but anyways, we'll keep talking.
But you were saying with your mom?
Yeah, so back on topic.
I remember my topic too.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So I came back and I helped her get rid of the medication. My mindset was, we're going to get rid of the medication though.
Yeah.
Well, little did I know the medication also made her schizophrenic and bipolar and prone to seizures, so she'd drop into a seizure for no reason. That's never been a thing with her.
She didn't take them?
No. The medication literally made her
these were the
bipolar. Yeah, these are the side effects that the doctors don't want to tell you. They made her bipolar. They made her have multiple personalities. They made her schizophrenic. They made her freaking have seizures. They made her a brittle diabetic. Do you know how dangerous it is being a brittle diabetic? You can look at a fucking cookie and spike your insulin levels to 1,000.
Jeez.
Like, that shit is, you're knocking at death's door at that point. But I mean, it's just a laundry list of things that she'd never had before. That wasn't her. And so I'm doing my thing, trying to help her, and then all of a sudden I come into contact with Donna 5.0, with one of her personalities, and we don't mesh well. And so, I unfortunately had to leave, but my little sister, came in and started helping out. She was doing what I was doing, but in a much nicer way. And my mom's fine now. She's on maybe 3 meds now for the day, eating super healthy now. The medication that she was on before, all her teeth are gone now. They rotted out of her face.
Cool.
Yeah, so everything has to be ground up and everything. So and she's lost fucking 150 pounds.
Wow.
In 2 years.
Damn.
She's doing fantastic.
Awesome.
This is the healthiest I've seen her in a long time. And no more schizophrenia, no more split personalities, no more of this shit. The brittle diabetic, gone.
What the fuck?
That's crazy to think about, right?
It's just gone? Yeah.
It's gone. She's not a brittle diabetic anymore. So how do you go from being a brittle diabetic
to
not being a diabetic?
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's absurd. You don't see that. But that just goes to show what Western medication actually does to you. It's toxic. It's not natural. That's not what our bodies are meant to take in. it's poison. But anyways, so I ended up being homeless for a while, and then, you know, all the promises people gave me when I came back fell through. Nobody could hold up their end. So when somebody gives me their word, I hold their word to be law. And if you can't meet that, then your word means nothing. And I mean,
you lose that much more respect.
Exactly. When have I ever said anything or done anything with you and not pulled through on it? I mean, granted, we haven't had that many occasions where...
I was going to say, what day was it when I was like... Was it Wednesday? No. The day we were supposed to go work out. And you were like, I'm so fucking tired. But I'm just joking. That was just a joke. That was just a joke.
Well, no, I asked if you wanted to, if we were up to it.
Yeah, and then you were like, I'm so fucking tired. And I was like, you know, low key, it actually worked in my favor.
I was up in the hills fucking working a 13,000 square foot back patio doing limestone out in the beating sun, 95 degrees.
Dude,
and
no, I was just... This was Thursday, and it was really, I'm really glad you didn't, because I had, that same Thursday, I worked out, I went to climb, and then I did...
Oh, so you had already worked out.
I worked out. But I was going to do a third one with you. But I did that, and then I had to do yard work around the house, so same thing. I was out in like 95 degree weather, just fucking tearing the ground up.
Yeah, it was...
And then I had to play soccer for Hans that same day, and then I had to work, so I was like, oh my
No
God.
wonder you're not putting on muscle, my guy. You're working it and sweating it all out.
But I drank like probably 2 gallons of water that day.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
So, we'll wrap up this topic of homeless people, because like I don't like donating to homeless people, because and the problem is because I know, especially in this area, there are just panhandlers who are not poor and who do not need the money, but people will take they'll take advantage of people's generosity.
Mm-hmm. Well, not just that though. I mean, especially in this area, there's so many meth heads.
Yeah, dude.
That money goes to drugs. It doesn't go to food. It doesn't go to
trying to better your life.
Yeah, when I was homeless, guess what? And I didn't have a job when I
never, yeah.
And it sucked, but guess what? Every dime I made went towards. So when I went homeless, the money I had reserved went to a gym membership so that I could shower, and that was right next to a laundromat so I can keep my clothes clean. And then I was actively searching for a job. I could care less about sleeping in a car. That's fine.
Yeah, see, I know that struggle. I do know that struggle.
I'm totally okay with that. As long as I've got something clean to wear and I'm able to take a shower, I can find a job.
Yep.
And save up enough money, because I'm in a car, so I don't have to worry about a roof over my head. I can lock my shit and I can sleep.
Yeah.
But you know,
you started the van life before it became a thing.
Exactly, right? But my thing is like, it'd be one thing if the money went to something positive, but the vast majority of homeless people do not take that money and put it to something positive. I've watched more homeless people come into the bar and spend their last dime on beer.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, that's a $8 beer. What are you doing right now?
Yeah.
That's like, you could just go to like McDonald's and get yourself food for like a few days.
Yeah, I would.
So that's the worst part.
I wouldn't eat McDonald's.
Yeah. So that's the worst part. So I'll buy food for people. That's what I'll do.
Yeah.
And that'll just be the biggest test, because you'll give them I'll be like,
and they'll be like, I don't
do you want a
it.
sandwich? And they're like, no. I'm like, that's all I'm offering.
So yeah, that's all you're getting.
Yeah.
Take it or leave it. You're
said
homeless, so
anything
you shouldn't turn away food, but you're going to turn away food. Okay.
You should change your sign. It says anything helps. Stop being a liar.
Yeah.
I want to piggyback on one of the topics that we were talking about interchangeably while we were trying to finish up this one. But our generation, or the generations coming up, have a hard time of learning how to be fucking good, well-mannered people. And I'm like, dude, and so
that goes into a lot of things.
But here's what this is the thing. This is what I wanted to get into, is that like you and I work in an industry that's very lucrative, for sure, right?
Absolutely.
And I'm not talking about just the people who work in it, but the people who come in. They're not like scum, but like we're in an industry that's not healthy. You know what I mean? We're serving alcohol, but at the same time, like you and I are very good components of this. We are, to me, I like to consider myself under the gentleman's code. Like, whatever I operate on, I am going to be a gentleman across the board on it.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, that needs to be taught more, man, and it's annoying because there's it's a dying breed.
And I'll tell you, this is gonna hurt villains, and I don't know if I should say it. How many people watch this?
Not enough.
Not enough.
Not enough.
Do you care how heavy hitting I go here?
No, because if it's that bad, we can always edit it out.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
But
I forget
honestly, but dude, this is free speech, so give it a go.
So, what we're teaching right now with our kids is that if you're 5, you can dress up like a girl, and I'm therefore gonna start treating you like a girl just because you got a little curious and put on a dress. My thing is if they decide to make that decision to switch when they're adults, and adult doesn't mean 18. I'm sorry, it doesn't. Your brain isn't fully grown, isn't fully matured until you're 25. That is scientifically proven. Just like science has proven that a male is a male and a female is a female.
Right.
Same with medical. I mean, medical science.
And to
every historical.
Put some context on that. It's backed by science based on your chromosomes, right? So that's where the science comes from, based on that decision. Okay.
You know what's crazy? Like I said, I'm a Christian. I was watching this thing, and they were breaking down science and the Bible. Okay, and they were talking about the chromosomes, and I'm not going to go too in depth in this because I don't remember it verbatim.
Yeah.
But it was basically talking about how if you actually look like Adam's chromosomes and then Eve's chromosomes and then the spawning of that, it all, like, if you trace the chromosomes back, it all matches up. And it just blew my mind, like, how in depth it was. It wasn't like some thought thing like, oh, I'm a Christian, therefore this is this. No, it was, he had diagrams and everything and links and everything to where you can find this in medical and scientific, like, history and everything. Like, all this shit lined up.
Yeah.
And it was just like, wow. Then talking about the flood and everything, and it was insane. It was really cool to watch. I get lost on TikTok sometimes. That shit is, that's a drug right there. That's an addiction.
Yeah, I don't have any of this. So I agree with that to a high extent, because, like, it gets to the point where parents are putting their kids on puberty blockers to help them make that transition.
What the heck is a puberty blocker?
So it inhibits some hormones and allows your body to produce the opposite effect. So, like, let's say
you could just
a 5-year-old
estrogen
boy,
or something.
Yeah, so let's say a 5-year-old boy is their parents are transitioning him to be a girl. They put him on puberty blockers so they halt the amount of testosterone being produced in the body. And they'll throw them on estrogen so they're producing more female hormones. So their body's regulating female hormones, which is not natural to that body. So it becomes, there's so many adverse effects to it.
See, but the thing is we're breeding this. We are allowing this to happen. It's disgusting. Like, we're letting transgender men or women, I don't even know how you're supposed to say that. Men making the transition.
Let's put it this way, and I found that I like this way how it was worded, but we're allowing people who did not birth these children, so let's say it's your child, I'm making the decision for your child. That is not how it goes. That is your child. You decide what you want for that child.
At the same point, though, like I said, like, a 5-year-old putting on a dress and saying I'm a girl doesn't make them a girl.
No, I mean, dude.
And if you allow that type of behavior, you are therefore breeding. You are teaching.
So here, I'll play slight devil's advocate, because, like, there's some points to that I don't really care about, in the sense of, like, let's say you're 30 and you want to make that decision, fucking by all means go for it. If you're 30 and you really are adamant about it, you go for it. I don't care. But if you are 10, and you are saying, hey, I want my kid keeps on saying he's a girl and he's really a boy, but he wants.
You can dress up in a skirt all you want. But
I'm not going to call my son my daughter.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go and make up some fake female name for him. Like, no, that's not how that works.
Let them get through their phase of puberty and figure it out for themselves.
You know what's crazy? Like, I go back to my fiance's mom's nutritional not therapist. She's nutritional consultant. Yes. That's all hormones. What that means is that your hormones are not regulating properly.
Yeah,
and that goes to the food that we put in our system.
I was just going to say.
The food, like you can eat a cheeseburger right now. You're not going to be feeling all that fantastic. It takes 6 weeks for gluten to get out of your system. Soy kills testosterone. Do you know how many things you eat on a regular basis that have soy in it?
A lot. Soy
eradicates testosterone and screws with your hormones.
We put so much
but people don't know this shit, and that's the problem.
Yeah, it's not taught.
People just
the things that need to be taught are not taught. They're overlooked.
GMOs are all.
Sorry, I interrupted you.
No, you're good. But no, I mean we're right on the same track. People don't know this stuff, and that's the problem. Is like they just figure, I'm just gonna eat my McDonald's every day, and things will be fine.
No.
It's like, no.
You could throw a McDonald's hamburger out on the curb right now, let it sit there for a month in the heat, in the sun. Nothing about that burger is going to change.
Yeah.
Same thing with soda.
That is one chromosome away from plastic.
Yeah.
The cheese, you can light the cheese on fire. I'm sorry, I don't know any natural good cheese that goes up in flames and produces black smoke.
Yeah.
But we're putting that into our bodies.
Mm-hmm.
Fast food is killing us.
Bad diet.
And soda too.
And it's making people sterile.
Yeah.
Because it screws with your hormones so much, and because it has so much extra shit that they don't tell you about, it's making you sterile. And I will hit on this. You can take this out too, because I don't need any big people coming to get us. Bill Gates. The Gates family has been talking about forever depopulation. Bill Gates owns corn. He owns farmland. He owns all that.
Well, he was trying to make his own city in the border of Arizona and California, somewhere around
there. It's
there.
probably going to happen.
I doubt it.
But he controls food right now. He also controls medicine. Bill Gates controls medicine. Where do you think this vaccine came from? Bill Gates.
Well, I mean, yeah, he was the biggest proponent of getting it going when the COVID.
Therefore, because he was the funder, he had a lot to say.
Yeah.
The Gates family has been wanting to eradicate the population to a fourth worldwide. So you think about that.
Well, there was I watched this Joe Rogan podcast. I mentioned this. This is a different episode, but he was saying that you can house every human being on this planet in Texas alone. The surface area of Texas, the amount of land in Texas is enough to house each person, each family, and it'd be fine if we could house everybody in a goddamn state.
It's 4 billion people. Country. If you built one big massive, maybe, probably.
Right, I'm not saying the living conditions are all
it's not going to be great, but
look at the parameters I'm talking about. Just Texas alone.
Yeah.
Now throw California and throw a whole country in there. We could put everybody in the U.S. Now throw the whole world.
We're all going to be suburban neighbors.
Yeah. I feel and people talk about limited resources, but we're not limited, and we're not.
We're just wasting.
You know what's crazy? That goes back to the flat Earth. So
that's how this all got started, isn't it?
So flat Earth. I was watching this fucking TikTok, and I don't know why I got looped into it, but it was so good.
Yeah.
It was just because it was one of those things that makes you
intriguing,
think.
Right?
Yeah. Huh?
Intriguing.
It was very intriguing. It really it got the gears. The rusty gears started up.
Yeah.
And I'm just looking at it, and he's name one civilization in the past that drew a map that was
round. Yeah.
Round. They didn't. Every culture in the world back in the day
flat maps.
Yeah. But the maps didn't look anything like what we have now. And everyone's going to say, oh, no, well, that's because we've got all this technology and we can do all this, that, and the other. Okay, but we have pilots who have been caught on camera and ended up losing their jobs saying that the horizon's flat.
Yeah, because there's that. I mean, don't get me wrong.
This guy was going into flight plans. Like,
well, I've gone down this rabbit hole too. So the thing was is that if the Earth, and I know the reasoning to it is if the Earth was round, then there would be a bend in the horizon every time you look beyond it. So like again, I was at the beach in Santa Cruz, right? If I looked out to the ocean and I had like miles and miles of sight, I should be starting to see a bend in the horizon. I don't see that. You don't see that though.
No, you don't.
But people will dispute that, of course, but still.
And so there was a guy who did the world's like longest jump or highest jump or whatever. He was up in
Felix Baumgartner.
Yeah. So they were talking. This guy was talking about how the camera lens was one of those like super fancy lenses that distorts.
Well, that was
and makes round.
Well, that was the thing too. Was a lot of photos that people that NASA has of Earth is usually done with not a normal lens.
That's another thing. So
it's a fisheye.
Yeah.
So it bends it naturally because it's a fisheye bend.
They were talking about NASA. He was going deep into NASA's shit. And like I said,
NASA is kind of scary, because a lot of the people so after World War II, right? There's Operation Paperclip where they took a bunch of Nazi scientists, and it was just a race of who could collect the most Nazi scientists and bring them back to either the U.S. or USSR, right? And so a lot of them went into NASA's field. So a lot of them. Right? It becomes kind of you just like
it was like the space race and everything.
Yeah. But they were talking about, like, once again, vast majority of NASA's documents have a section where it talks about flat Earth. Weird, I know. Mm-hmm. Then there's a lot of photos and videos of them, doing all this, right? Like they're in space. But they have exact replicas of all these spacecrafts that they send up or whatever that are in water.
Oh, so you get that buoyancy, so it's like you're floating, but you're just buoyant.
And I rewatched those videos a few times, and a lot of the like there's a video of one of the guys, and he's like grabbing and wrapping something, but there's nothing there, and you're like, what's this guy doing? There's nothing there. And you think about like the CGI and everything that we have nowadays, it's really easy to make two people in water look like they're in a spacecraft in space. It's really easy to do that.
Dude, look at any Michael Bay action movie.
Exactly.
And you can, the amount of CGI and the amount of...
They don't even shoot like the Marvel scenes with the same actors in the room for some things. It's just all CGI.
It's really, really, really great. Like when you start diving into like all that, the rabbit hole, it gets crazy.
It does, and you can never come back out.
You can never come back out. Well, how did we even get on there?
You literally was like,
back to flat Earth.
you literally at the start of this went, so flat Earth. Or you're like, what's your thoughts on flat Earth?
Oh yeah. No, I thought it was super interesting, like, because a lot of what he was saying, it made sense in a really weird way. You know what I mean?
No, I know what you mean. I mean, I had a huge stint when I first moved back out here, because I didn't know, I was without a job, and I was not doing much, and I just went down that rabbit hole, and I just kept taking those red pills left and fucking right, dude.
Crazy, man.
I thought I was crazy.
Yeah.
Because I was like, oh my god, this shit's starting to make sense. But I couldn't share with people because I knew they would be like, you're just a fucking psychopath.
Yeah. But like, you take that, you take the Bible, you take every culture in history, and you add them all together, and then you come into our era, and it's like, all of a sudden everything has changed. And it's like, well then how did they get it wrong for like 2,000 years? 2,000-3,000 years. Like how did they just
plus, right? Because like first civilizations that we know of, right, range back to Mesopotamia with Gilgamesh and all them. So the Assyrians, right? They were smart too. So starting 10,000 years ago, going forward, how did that whole gap miss?
You look at
something that we somehow found now.
Yeah, and like I was saying about the flight patterns, like freaking.
I've seen that.
Tell me why a flight from LA
has to bend around.
Has to go. You make a pit stop here just to go here. Why not just do this? Yeah. Right? Take that concept into a flat Earth concept, and it is a straight line.
Yeah, no, I know what you're talking about. I've seen that because they have my dad. He was showing me that too, because like it shows all the flight patterns of the world. Maybe you've seen that same image, and it's all these weird same things. All like these weird
absolutely stops. But then not just that, like the time it took to get to here, then to here. When you could have just done that, it's the same fucking thing. It's the same time. There should be a difference. Then you take in the rotation of the Earth, right? You're traveling like this. You have the rotation of the Earth, so that time should be different from when you're traveling back, but it's not. It's because you're going against it. They say something about like you're going with it, so it's fast or whatever, but. So then the adverse should be true too. You're going against the road. And take into account too, the Earth is moving fucking fast.
Yeah.
Like really fucking fast.
So here's the reason why, and this is the context that physics has. So the sun is spinning constantly and moving. And our planets are moving around it. And while they're moving around it, they are rotating. And this is on a cosmic scale. So with that much amount of rotation.
I'm going to send you the link. For this guy,
yeah,
and I want you to just sit there and do like I didn't watch these videos because they were intense.
No,
they kind of blew my mind because I've never talked about this shit before. And then one day I'm just scrolling, and this guy pops up and he's like, "Wait, don't scroll, just watch this." I'm just like, "Yeah, why not? Whatever. Well, what'll the harm be?" And here we are. Yeah, it's mind-boggling. Or for this, like, how in the world do you have the pyramids, right? You have the pyramids, and then you've got damn near replicas all over the earth.
Yeah. So again, that's why I brought up like Quetzalcoatl and like the Aztecs have pyramids there. There's Göbekli, I can never pronounce it. Göbekli,
something like that.
Yeah. Same thing. Pyramids over there. They have pyramids in China, right? They have temples. They call them temples, yeah. And then the pyramids of Egypt, and they're all lined up and organized in the same way, and they all match the Star David, right? That same pattern.
Oh, that was another thing. Okay, so there's this spot in Georgia. It's these stones, these huge fucking stones or whatever, and unfortunately, I think they're like so with the people who died, their names are all over them. But there's a hole in one of them, and that hole lines up with the North Star perfectly. Mm-hmm. You look through the hole, you see the North Star. So why is it that you can see it in the day? Right, we're spinning around the sun, we're spinning constantly with all the other planets, the moon and blah, 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 and our galaxy apparently is spinning and going through its own little thing too. Everything's apparently moving. Tell me why the North Star is fixed at all points during the day, every day. That makes no sense. Right. That makes no sense. Right. If everything's spinning the way
they should be in a different spot.
It should be in a different spot all the time. But yet it's fixed in one spot, and you can see that star in the same spot every single day, any time of the day or night through that people. That makes no sense.
Yeah.
Why are all our constellations always basically in the same spots, right? Or always together? If everything is moving the way they say it is, everything is moving, constantly moving, everything's spinning, everything's going around everything. why are all our constellations the exact same way? They have been since the Greek days.
Yeah.
Right? The Greeks came out and named all the stars and the constellations and what they were. How are all those things the exact same as when they discovered or decided to name them? There's a lot of things that make you think, and you sit there and you go, wow, that's fucking weird. And then you have NASA putting flat Earth in their own documents. Like, that shit doesn't add up. You have pilots losing their jobs because they mentioned a flat horizon.
Yeah. Well, then again,
it's weird, man. I shouldn't have taken the red pill.
But here's the thing: is you get so much stigma for even contemplating.
Yeah,
not even agreeing.
Hates you.
Because trust me, I don't fall in line with flat Earth. I'm very open to the idea, right? I'm open to ideas.
It's like being open to the idea of God. You either believe or you don't believe, or you're open to it.
Yes. It's like that agnosticism, right? Where you're like, I'm not saying it's not true, but I'm not saying it's false either.
Yeah.
I'm lying in superposition right now. Until like the evidence is concrete enough for me to make a real decision, I'm not going to make a decision at all.
Yeah.
And so even if like I said, you just say flat Earth, and people will just be like, God damn it, I'm with a crazy guy right now.
Lose their minds.
They do. They're like, I'm with an idiot right now. God damn it. I'm like, no,
just think.
Broaden your horizon. Yeah, just broaden your horizon just for a moment. You know, like there's always that idea of like Copernicus, right? Copernicus was the guy who said that, you know, the world or the universe doesn't revolve around the Earth. The planets revolve around the sun. He got stoned and he got castrated for it.
Yeah.
Right? Like if people don't make those kind of like big decisions like that, how will we ever know?
Oh, apparently.
Same with Darwin and evolution, right? Like he got fucking destroyed or tried to by the British Christian system because they were all diehard. And it disproved, at least they believed it disproved God. And he even came out with an idea of like, it doesn't technically disprove God.
No, I wouldn't say that it does, but I mean.
But at that time, that's what they thought.
Yeah.
And like, I mean, look at where it got him today. But at the same time, like he went through so much shit for it. And anyone who believed in him and his ideas also had to go through that shithole.
I saw another video too. It was crazy. So they were talking about how the moon is just a reflection of Earth.
Oh, dude, I was just about to bring the moon up because like the proportions of the moon is ridiculous. It's like it's too perfect to be an actual moon satellite.
So check it out. So when you actually look at the moon, and I've thought this myself once or twice, just randomly. If you look at
the dark side of the moon,
you can never see the dark side of the moon. But when it's in crescent or whatever, right, it's see-through. They've taken high-powered telescopes and actually seen stars where the moon should be. We always see the same side of the moon. If it's spinning and we're spinning, we should never see the same thing every time. But we do.
Yeah.
Even when you look at the moon in the daytime.
Apparently the physics makes sense. No, I know. Don't get me wrong. I have the same kind of skepticism about it as you.
And if you actually actually look at the moon, a lot of these craters and all these things on the moon, they kind of look like the countries or the land on Earth. They kind of, you know, that sounds crazy as shit right now.
It's hard because you don't to me because I've been down, like I said, I've been down this rabbit hole multiple times.
It's crazy. There's so much about this shit that's just like, wow.
But that's the thing is people don't think about it, and that's why it's like,
everybody's so, you know, everyone's taking the blue pill. Nobody wants to. And that's why that like our ancestors never like they dreamt big. They didn't just confine themselves in a little box and go along.
They thought there was something greater.
Yeah, they always were looking for the next big thing. They were looking for what made sense, what was right, and what's the next big thing.
Mm-hmm. No, yeah. What's the next big thing for us, though?
Exactly.
Right.
Apparently a purge. Fucking Gates. But, I mean, there's so much craziness going on. Who knows what's right, what's wrong.
Yeah. I think we should get to a wrapping point.
Yeah. Yeah, you've opened up this rabbit hole for me. Thank you. That's why you don't get me talking.
But no, because I love these kind of conversations because they expand beyond the superficial.
Next time we'll talk about politics.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Oh God.
We should have follow on for that one.
Good point there. So on that note, you don't know how we sign off, but I'll lead it in. This was Couch Surfing. This is your boy Maui with my guest
Nick.
And this is Couch Surfing. Peace.